So this is happening now. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome at long last to the Henry's Film Reviews YouTube channel. I want first and foremost to thank my avid readers for their time, their attention, and, of course, their support. Wow, that's good. As I'm sure you know, every positive attitude, every word of encouragement, every positive reaction I have ever received from the people that read my small reviews on Instagram, all of it is framed in a special shelf in my brain. And, this channel is a celebration of you. It is by you, for you. And as such, I encourage as many of you as can be bothered to keep giving me feedback. The channel's in its infancy, as it stands, and if there's something you want to be seeing in this channel that's not there, tell me. Now is the time. The iron is hot. If we're going to be making changes, now is absolutely the time to make them. Let's see here. So, my current model of how this channel is going to work is it's going to be a bit more of an audio experience than a visual one. Not going to be a whole lot of focus on flashy stuff on the screen, no speedy editing, no real management of screen space. It's pretty much just going to be me talking about a movie I either hate or love, or groups of movies, certain topics, different film philosophies, things like that. So, what I encourage you to do is play a video game, get some homework done, write the anthem of a generation. I don't give a shit. Doesn't bother me any. What I'm trying to create here is something that will be fun for your ears, if not for your eyes. Genetics made that impossible. So, as another thing, before we get started, I've been informed that featuring tobacco and delicious alcohol on a YouTube video can get you demonetized. However, if you review said tobacco and alcohol, then you get a pass. So, without further ado, today, as a fitting celebration of the debut of this channel, we have a delicious 18-year Faircullen Irish whiskey. Damn good stuff. Brought it back myself from Dublin when I visited last summer. And it's damn fine stuff. Seriously, I've seldom tasted anything better. Every sip is dipped in honey. It's got notes of vanilla, citrus, got that oaky finish, bit of a, probably more like a cedar finish than anything. Complex, but just so smooth it defies imagining. Highly recommend it if you can get your hands on it. $150 a bottle though, so, moderation is key. But, all that to say, to help our proverbial medicine go down, let me introduce you to today's spoonful of sugar. A lovely Bellas Artes Nicaraguan cigar. Full body. Pretty thin ring width for my taste, but that's alright. I like a quicker cigar. It's okay with me. It's a Brazilian torpedo outer wrap, so that's pretty rare these days. Generally, us Americans tend towards the straight cut. We like something a little stronger as opposed to our European friends. But I'm okay with that. Brazilian outer wrap, black as night, as you can see. Pretty clean draw. Really enjoyed this one. Had a couple from this same brand. But big fan of how this one turned out. I'd say probably notes of coffee. Bitter, earthy finish that's good enough, strong enough to cut the whiskey, but not strong enough to make it so I can't taste the stuff. Just the way I like it. I'm telling you, God fucked up when he made smoking bad for you. But my finances and probably my overall health thank him for it. Let's see here. Okay, so with the stage set, let's get down to business. Greyhound was recommended to me by my very own Sergeant Ramirez in the Army. Decent fella if you get a chance to meet him. I hadn't been able to see the movie because it was tucked away as an Apple TV exclusive, which, as it just so happens, is the only streaming service I don't get because Lady Luck is nothing if not a fickle bitch who decided to make it so I couldn't see the movie. But all the same, on the evening of one of our field training exercises, Sergeant Ramirez was gracious enough to produce an iPad, and thus the critical gap in my spectrum was remedied. Damn, that is good stuff. So, Greyhound. First thing that was revealed by my preliminary research for it was really that there just wasn't a lot to see. 90 minutes flat and it's done. And that's pretty rare to see. Obviously, it had some money behind it. You don't get Tom Hanks these days for, chump change. So, had some money. Clearly a figurehead of Apple TV's lineup. You don't really hear of much being relegated to Apple TV. So, this is supposed to be a pretty meaty experience. But done in 90 minutes. You can knock it out real fast. But you know what? In the past, I have criticized movies almost exclusively for being too short, never too long. And the reason is the number of times I've seen movies with incredible potential squander what they have for the sake of a shorter runtime. It just disgusts me. I can't fucking stand it. Because I think if you have something to say, take your time to say it. Pace yourself. I'm in no hurry. I came here to see the movie. If you have, take more time. Give me those long shots to build atmosphere, to build tension. I love that shit. Take a second. That's fine by me. But this movie didn't. It moved along at quite a clip. In fact, all we really get for character development is probably a 3-minute scene at the very start of the movie where we have Tom Hanks establishing that he has like a bride-to-be at home, and but I can seldom say I've seen a movie with straighter I can seldom say I've seen a movie with straighter cinematic priorities. That 3-minute sequence happens, and boom, we're on a boat in the Atlantic, guarding a convoy from German U-boats. And you don't see that happen. Especially movies like this tend to delay. A little bit here. They tend to delay the time it takes to get into the action by a considerable margin to bump up the runtime and to flesh out the characters themselves. It gives the action gravity when we know what the stakes are. But I respect this one because it understands everybody's seen the World War II movie, right? The the elevator pitch for this one probably was like, Saving Private Ryan kicked ass. Is Tom Hanks doing anything? And I think that's literally how the movie got made. You know the story. You know it. It's World War II. The Nazis are bad. Kill Nazis. Don't need anything else than that. And I respect how streamlined it was. So, the setup of the movie is basically that there was a novice naval commander who was given control over a small fleet of ships in the Atlantic Ocean that was guarding a convoy to England, and German U-boats were tearing us up at the time, and he kind of by accident becomes embroiled in one of the most complex naval battles in history. I tell you, people, cigars, awesome. But damn. So with that setup, Greyhound is pretty much like it's just a prime cut fillet steak of a movie. We have nothing but action, like all the best bits from Hunt for the Red October jam-packed into one 90-minute experience. And I'm kind of all over it. But it means, so like, what I mean by that is characters are given a little more dialogue, are given a little more development than names. Even that is not guaranteed. We have the name of the captain, we have the name of a couple of the key advisor type people, but that's pretty much it. And dialogue between those characters goes for more of a hyper-realistic recreation of how it would work on like a naval bridge in World War II. All of which is recreated with a stunning degree of accuracy that, I'm was really impressed to see. It was a lot of fun to watch this movie. Because it was just so streamlined. And all of this, though, it does kind of make me think that Tom Hanks was wasted talent. Tom Hanks was, he's a great actor. I think he definitely does have the advantage of being that sort of America's male sweetheart, kind of he's an everyman. He's able to just be in a role and you feel good about him being there. Like, I don't think Tom Hanks as a villain would make any sense because he's just you can't take a, you can't take him in a negative light. He's too positive of a presence. And but he does great work, especially dialogue delivery, really intense stuff. He gives it a solid gravity, and he did again. The elevator pitch for this was like, we loved Saving Private Ryan. Everybody loved Saving Private Ryan. What if we did it on boats? And I really enjoy that mission statement. Mm-mm-mm. Christ, the Irish make good whiskey. Wow. Anyway, where was I? Yes. So I think the biggest strength of the movie is probably its use of perspective. The movie kind of wears the skin of low budget, where almost all of the action that the audience sees is through like porthole windows and like seen from the bridge of the main ship, the Greyhound, so to speak. And what it means is like the limited line of sight communication. So the limited line of sight means of communication between the different ships in the convoy makes it so that there's this really gripping tension between the different characters, where you're getting intermittent updates from like the radar operator, and you're getting, the captain glances out a window to see the exact angles of where ships are and when. And it's brutal, some of these sequences where you're just waiting. And then everybody springs to action. It's hard to explain without actually looking at it, but it's fun stuff. And I highly recommend it for anybody who's interested. Yeah. Tension in this movie, built by the perspective, is, it's constructed like it's constructed as fast as the financial standing of a therapist that just watched a blue-haired white woman walk into their office. It's really impressive to watch, and I think that is absolutely, without doubt, its greatest strength. Unfortunately, the downfall of the movie, I think, is brought about by its short duration. It's got kind of, it's the quality of like a Cheeto or something, or a potato chip. It's enjoyable while it lasts, but it's gone so quickly that, it doesn't have the longevity necessary to leave a deeper impression, if that makes sense. I shudder to think what this movie could have done with another hour. If it had that time at its disposal, it could have done a lot with it. One idea I had was there's a sequence in the movie where the German U-boats that the main characters are fighting against jack into the radio communications and start, doing the classic sort of Nazi monologue in World War II movies. They're like, "You Americans fine. You will die by our hand," and crap like that. And it's cool. Everybody goes silent, and it works, kinda. But I think if you had a couple of sequences where you saw things from the perspective of the Germans, where it was like you saw them from inside the U-boat looking at the main characters and giving the speech, and you could develop that cat and mouse dynamic a lot more. I would have loved that, and I think that could have been possible if the movie ran a little longer. And it bums me out that none of that happened. And also some greater development of the main characters. There's a couple of deaths in the movie that just don't have a lot of gravity because I don't know them. You know, they're pawns. I haven't seen them interact with each other much. You know, give me a letter they wrote to home or something, or the fact that they have families and stuff like that. I know you're supposed, it's kind of implied, but show it to me. Take the time to show it to me. You know what I mean? But all the same, great time. And I think, again, it compiled all the best scenes from Hunt for the Red October. Pure molten naval action, which you don't get very often. And it was loud, it was flashy, and, you know, so final rating, solid 7.5 out of 10. Exciting with brilliantly claustrophobic shots, flashy action, but god damn, somebody give this movie a sandwich, you know what I'm saying? So, that's the review. That's this movie. That's this channel's debut episode. I'm not sure I've worked out all the kinks of how it's going to work yet. Again, the Instagram channel from which this channel was birthed will still receive periodic updates with, I'm thinking, probably shorter, snappier synopses of the reviews themselves for those of you that are strapped for time or more likely pooping. Because, you know, I'm okay with that. But you know, tell me what you think. I think that these videos will be a little bit more rambling, a little bit deeper analysis of certain movies. I'm thinking that I'll probably graduate to broader topics where I can analyze the connections from different movies and things like that. More of a podcast type model where if you don't want to look at my ugly mug drinking and smoking while I'm talking about this stuff, that's perfectly fine by me. Do something else while you watch this sort of thing. But if that's not what you guys are looking for, if you want something a little faster paced with some more visual action, I could probably throw that together. I'm just trying to gauge what people are after, and I think this is a good way to talk about movies in the video format that people have repeatedly told me they're after. So, that's the movie. I'll put a link in the description to, of course, the Instagram channel that will keep maintaining updates. I don't give a shit if you subscribe or whatever. But, yeah, leave in the comments if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, tell me why not. If you did, thank you. Peace out.